Chihuahua.
Why don't you guys go ahead and get started?
Okay, so welcome to January 14th, 2021, our first Parks Board meeting of 2021. We are missing one member, Dave North, who is now part of the County Commission. And we will begin with a roll call. So we'll start with our online member.
I can't hear Roy either.
Can you not hear me?
Is your mic on, Roy?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, okay.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
I can.
Can you hear this? Can you hear me?
I don't know if it happened, Jim, when they muted Natrona County down at the bottom.
Okay.
Yep, you're right, Brooke. Now try.
Now,
Okay.
can you hear us
Thank you.
now?
Thank you.
We good?
Good? Okay. So January 14th, 2021, we'll start with a roll call. So we'll start with our online participant.
That'd be you, Jim.
Jim, can you hear us?
Now I can. Jim Miller
Okay.
here.
Tina Cruz.
Roy Buck.
Stuart Hill.
Okay. And just to rehash, we are missing one member right now because Dave North is now a new county commissioner. So at some point, we will be talking about what we're going to do to fill Dave's spot. Has everybody had an opportunity to look at the December 10th minutes, meeting minutes? That'd be December 10th of last year.
Yes, sir. I make a motion to approve.
I second that motion.
Okay, we've got a motion to approve the December 10th minutes. Do we have any discussion, additions or subtractions to the December 10th minutes? No discussion, we'll move to the vote. All in favor of approval of the December 10th minutes signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign? Okay, that's passed. We'll move on to reports. Director?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll start with the mountain well water system. We still don't have the water turned on up there. However, the little well house has been delivered and the pumps installed in the well. We're waiting on some electrical to be run, and we're also waiting on a chlorinator that's back ordered. And so the driller is going to come back when that comes in and install it, and we have another electrician that's going to go up there and connect the electricity back so that we can become operational. And the Trail Center, the new temporary building, as you know, was delivered in November. We still do not have electrical to it. It was scheduled to be hooked up on December 18th, and the panel that the first electrical company had ordered has still not come in. I had another electrical company go up and look at the project, and they were able to come up with pieces to put a panel together. They will be on site tomorrow morning to install that panel. Once that panel's installed, we'll have Rocky Mountain Power come back and reestablish the power to the pole. I have no date on that until they inspect the panel that we build tomorrow. So we're moving along. Any questions on that?
I mean, it takes as long as it takes, so.
Well, and I will say too, we bought a generator so we could run the buildings down at the stadium. So when they were having their meet here a couple of weeks ago, they had power down there, but we weren't able to run power anywhere else.
Well, it is what it is, and
Okay.
given the season, we'll get it done when it gets done, so.
Will the panel be something that you can plug a generator into, or?
Well, we
Just
won't,
waiting for
we
regular power.
won't, no, we couldn't once it's hooked up to power. Yeah, they wouldn't let us do that. We won't hopefully need to. So, yes.
Was the invite shared with Douglas Irvine?
Yeah, I talked to him. He's out of town, but
Would you like him to join the meeting?
if he wants to, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, that's fine.
thank you.
That generator worked fantastic, Mike.
Good. We just fill it up with gas when you bring it back.
It's full.
Okay, I'll move on to our report on the architectural. As you know, we had the charrettes, and we had input from the public. We came up with the 3 selected designs, and one of those was a final design, and that was presented to the county commissioners as well as the cost. And the commissioners directed to revisit that, try to downsize the cost of the building. One of the items that was specifically looked at was the size of the kitchen. So he's working on redesigning that kitchen as a catering kitchen and then doing some square footage cutback. And we'll be getting a new estimate on all that here shortly. And also Worthington Leonard has provided the survey for him so he can have all the contours to work with in siding that building. And the bridle trail, just update on that, we did go up and reopen the trail to Davis Way and move the boulders that were in the way there. And then we're gonna still put the steps in there next spring. And we're working on adjusting the GIS map that shows where that trail is so that we can put one of those on site and people can look at it, know where they're at. Any questions there on the mountain?
It'd be nice to see, if, as we said in the last meeting, if we could have those guys, State Line, come and show that to us first so that the public had a chance to take a look at it. I don't know if the county commissioners had the public looking at it at all or not. But it is what it is, so are we still looking at the large one? It was the bigger parking lot? Is that what
No,
they're-
it's, the parking lot's been reduced. It could still be put on a later date. But so the whole design is taken a step back as far as size.
Any way we can get a look at that, or?
I believe when we get the redrawing of it right
Okay.
now, we could take a look at it.
Okay, we're kind of flying blind here on it, so.
Yeah, and I recall from the conversation that we had, or discussion that we had during the last charrette, of possibly providing a public input session once we get the elevation and a redrawn plan. Is there any chance that we could pull something like that together?
Well, it's actually not in the contract to do that. We had the 2 charrettes already.
Right.
And I believe the direction that I heard from the commissioners is they wanted it to be seriously looked at for downsizing. And so that's where we are now, is to regroup, because it's really not going to be what everybody looked at originally.
Right.
Okay, I'll move on to Pathfinder. You done that, Stu? Yeah. Road maintenance project. Construction out there's gone really well. They've pretty much got all the gravel in. There's a little bit of cleanup to do. They are working on culverts still. We're gonna probably do a preliminary walkthrough next week to approve the gravel installation. And then they, like I say, they still have culverts and some valley pans to put in as soon as the weather warms up a little bit. Or they heat the ground, and they're talking about heating the ground. So if they do that, then they could still work. That's a little bit of cost to them. And the full hookup bathhouse it's closed in for the winter, and we'll revisit that in the spring. They'll turn the water on, and we'll check all the lines. And we'll probably take final acceptance on that sometime in, I imagine, in April, once we know that everything's working. y'all know what they did at the lake, and it's back up to its 10-foot level right now, the normal operating level for the winter. And we've got a lot of people that have been working on their docks trying to beat that water coming up, and most of them did, so. There's still a few waiting to do the last little touches on their docks, but the dessert, item 4 there, this is new. During my site visits out there, when I was looking at 71's constructions project, up where one of the new picnic shelters is, I noticed a major earth disturbance that had taken place that nobody had authorized, and spoke to the Bureau about it. There's some pictures attached to your agenda there. Again, we're not aware of any permits from anybody. The Bureau didn't authorize it. We didn't authorize it. So we're going to take some kind of corrective action. The Bureau wants the material that was moved put back the way it was. And actually, the only avenue we have to go after anybody is by our regulations. It's $100 fine and/or 30 days in jail if you were doing something that wasn't allowed. We've never used that clause for something like this, but the Bureau's not really happy about it, and so we're going to be addressing that here within the next week as to what we're going to require.
Looks like it's motorhome pad.
Well, I don't know what it is because nobody talked to us about what they were doing, but you just can't move dirt out there without the environmental study, and it's a simple thing to do if you get the permit, but there was no permit requested.
Good catch.
And really, that's all I have is an update.
Anybody have any questions for Mike?
On the new building, is there any way, well, yeah, it's too preliminary to know, to get some work done this year, because this obviously isn't going to get done in 1 year. You know, we do need a bigger parking lot up there. Definitely have to have a bigger parking lot. It's one of our biggest needs is more parking on the mountain. So I'd sure like to see that happen, but it is what it is. But if we can get any of the groundwork done, even the parking lot done, this coming construction season, it's going to take at least that to get this whole thing set up, I believe.
Well, we've got some studies that need to be done for the soil samples. That has to be done. We do know that the septic system will be able to handle whatever we do. We've looked into that, and that's been certified. So it's really down to the cost of the building and the money we can come up with to do it. And the idea is really the parking lot could be added on at any time, as could more length to the building as well. But there's other things in the building that we're looking at as to, do you put them in now or stub them out now? And, that's what Lyle's looking at, is putting all that together with the cost.
Sounds great. So we're going to be in a temporary one for a couple winters, it sounds like.
Yeah, I anticipate that, if he had all this done yesterday and was able to go to bid right now, you still, it just wouldn't pull together with all the geological and everything we have to do yet. Mm-hmm. So, it's going to be the following year for the building. You could bid it out and start building it right away in 2022, but there's no way we're going to get it right now. Too many hoops to jump through.
Yep. Well, I hope that the power company can get out there. They were mighty slow when I tried to get my connection in, so.
Well, we don't have any leverage on it either.
No.
They went up and looked at it, but they won't look at putting anything in until the box is set and inspected.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Other questions? Okay, we, thank you, appreciate that report. And, once again, you've got a lot on your plate that you're dealing with. So just try to keep moving it forward. We'll move on to public comments. We have one member of the public on Zoom, it looks like. And so we'll just open it up for any public comments.
Hi, this is Douglas Irvin of 6835 South Rotary Park Road. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can, thank you.
Yes.
Great. Just a quick question on the bridle trail. So what is the game plan going forward? Because at the June 16th commissioners meeting, we had thought that there was an understanding of what the steps were and what was going to happen with the new trail reroute, and then the closing of Davis Way, and then the granting of the easement. So what's the timeline and expected path forward for the remainder of that new work on the trail and getting the easement?
Which specific easement are you talking about, Doug?
On the Chrisman property, up at the top of the new trail work.
So, Mr. Chairman, I can take that one if that's okay.
Absolutely, thank you.
Yeah, so we obviously placed those boulders without permission or having a discussion with Howard Chrisman. So as a follow-up with him and as a courtesy, we just said we'll go back to status quo until we do have a conversation with you. So our intention right now is when he gets back into town, we'll have that discussion. At that time, he did notify me to say he had not received the easement for signing. His intention, as far as we're aware, is still to sign it. So that was sent to him, and Eric, unfortunately, is on vacation this week, so I don't know if we've received it back, but hopefully in short order.
Thank you.
Yep, of course, good question.
Did you have anything else, Doug?
All the questions I had.
Thank you. And I would just like to say, we know this is a bit of a new strategy as far as Zoom meeting. I don't know if anybody else is out there watching on YouTube right now, but just be aware that as far as I'm concerned, we would try to make this available as long as necessary and hope that any of the public that want to participate in the Parks Board meetings, they will be held the second Thursday of each month at 5:30. And the members of the public are encouraged to, if you can't attend in person, then go on the Natrona County website and look for the information for attending via Zoom, or I would assume that that's what we'll be using. But I suppose there's always a possibility we could use a different electronic media. But that information would be available on the county website prior to each scheduled Parks Board meeting. And we encourage the public to attend any way that they can. We're looking for your input. We're looking for ideas. We're looking for comments about any of these projects that we're working on. So just want everybody out there to know that is available. So having said that, we'll go ahead and move on to board comments. Board member, I'll start over with you, Stuart.
Just really a question for Brooke. Are we looking to get to fill out the Parks Board again? Because we only have 4 members now.
Right, so it is on, the commission has, I think, an hour slated for just general discussion on Tuesday at our next work session, and that is the topic of discussion is the Parks Board, and the names are being floated. Mr. Irvine has also put in his application for the position, so that it's a topic on Tuesday.
In your regular meeting, or is that earlier in the day?
A work session. It'll just come up in general discussion, just to say, how do we want to handle an appointment process? What might that look like? Things like that, just administrative.
Thank you.
Yep.
The road work, I saw that out the lake this week, last week of December. Looked really nice. I really thought all this work here was part of what they had done to put the little shelter up, so I was not aware that that was not done by the county, so interesting. It looks real nice. I know it was pretty cold out there, so to set all that dirt in and all, to get it plowed up just right, is you're waiting for warmer weather. So I hope they do wait instead of trying to heat it all. I'll ask you another question personally later on that, Mike, but really that's all I have. It's great to see everybody up using the mountain, even with a little bit of snow we have, they're up there. That's all I have today. Thank you.
Cool, thanks, Stuart. Tina?
Yeah, I agree with Stuart, and it's good to see everyone up on the mountain. I'm seeing improvements. I mean, it's going to be down the road, but I think with the new lodge up there, it'll be nice once it gets, once we get going on that. But so the electrical towards the end of the month possibly might be set up. We'll see.
We're hoping.
Okay.
I mean, electrical should be in
Sure,
tomorrow.
right,
But the
okay.
permanent
Yeah, that's good.
hookup to the power line
Good.
won't be.
Well, thank you. Thanks for all your work.
All right.
Thanks.
Jim, did you have anything?
Just a quickie. Is there a specific time, Mike, when a grooming report will be reported on the trail system?
I can't tell you right off the top of my head when the last one was registered on our online. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I've just had a couple calls to see if there was a designated time or date or, during the week that a grooming report would be reported. I know what has happened in the past is when they groom, their report is given, but I think people are wanting to know what the grooming report is, even if it doesn't get groomed. For instance, with lack of snow.
Oh, right.
Let's just say Bishop's is closed because there's not enough snow on that to groom. The grooming would be spotty because of the lack of snow. Maybe even a reason why some of the areas aren't being groomed, just because there's a lack of snow and they can't get the big groomer up there.
Okay, yeah, I'll have Joe update that.
Yeah, that's just some of the comments that I've had.
Well, and we've had a lot of comments on the cameras not working as well, but until I get power, that just isn't going to happen.
Right. I think along with the mountain use has been tremendous so far this winter, both with snowshoers, skiers, just a lot of people up there, even in the Bear Trap area, walking around or just outside. So it's been good to see.
Good.
All right, thank you, Jim. Commissioner Kaufman, did you have anything that you wanted to add?
No, I don't, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
All right. So one of the big projects that we obviously have in our future is the Nordic Lodge project. And I guess my comment would be more of a question for Commissioner Kaufman as far as what do you see the park board's role in that project for 2021?
That's a great question. So advocacy for sure. So Stuart, I know I sense your frustration and I understand that. I think what would have been misfortunate is if the original at the price tag that the commission does not have an appetite or ability to fund would have been out, that's probably not a fair thing to take to the public initially. So I think if we can just hone in on the scope a little bit and get something that's a little bit more likely to happen, I think then if there needs to be more exposure to the project, that would be great. But when you do see it and you have an opportunity to weigh in, there's a lot of people who still don't know what's going on. There was a discussion tonight about when the facility would be placed. Obviously, we are looking at 2022 now, so I would say being stewards of the information and helping educate people about what really is happening up there is so helpful, because people don't know, right? Or they think we're going to be in that temporary facility for 5 years and the county won't do anything, which is not the case. So I don't know if that helps, but we just have a little bit more work to do on sharpening the pencil. We'd also like to see if there's some partnership opportunities on that facility from a operating potentially perspective or financial perspective, so that maybe we can get a little bit more building for the money, right? And find other pots to kind of share or leverage across multiple resources to get that done. So I feel like I wish there was more to share. I just want it to be a little bit more honed in before we take it. Otherwise, we're taking something that's probably not really where we're going to land.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And
Yeah.
it's not to put you on the spot or anything, it's just, like say, it's something that we're hearing comments and questions about, so it's just good to kind of know where we're at in the process. So more informational than frustration, completely understand, it's a big project, so we want to do it right. And if that means
Well,
taking a little more time, then we're going to take a little more time.
Well, thank you for that. And I think we'll see some nice partnerships on it too. So hopefully we'll know some more information on that in the coming weeks, and then we'll be able to share. And I mean, your role in this is very valuable. You're the ones that are boots on the ground with our stakeholders, more than even the commission in this case. So you play an important role.
Okay, thank you for that. And
Yeah, thank you.
that was it for my comments, so guess we'll go ahead and,
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I second.
we have a motion to adjourn. And I don't think we need a vote on that, so we'll go ahead and call this first meeting of 2021 adjourned, and hoped for continued success. Thank you.